Hello everyone, Marianne here, revealing light tarot, astrology and spirituality. I've just lost a 35-minute reading. In that reading, I looked into Epstein's murder in his cell. I went right through my clairvoyant and psychic impressions. So I'm going to give them to you now, what I got in that reading. I saw that this was some kind of professional operation, that they had been surveilling the prison for some time. It seemed like a semi-professional operation, or operatives seemed like they were connected, perhaps with government, I don't know, but they had been surveilling the prison and watching Epstein's movements for some time. This was a plan that was a long time in the making. I saw there were two people, more than one person involved, in the actual cell with Epstein. I felt that they came into the prison as, I saw a trolley with boxes on it, so delivering supplies. So prison personnel, suppliers, they came in that way, undercover. And I feel there were two people in the cell. I saw Epstein being pushed back to some sort of column or round cylindrical object, and they used and he was pushed back with some force as well. And I felt that they pushed him back like that. He did resist. There was some kind of scuffle in the cell, and I feel they used a tie of some description to strangle him. But it was done with such force that this would be consistent with the coroner's findings. I do believe that a future president will reopen that whole investigation into Jeffrey Epstein's death in prison. I feel there were three people in power involved in his murder. I'm just going to say that. According to what I'm seeing, this isn't a man that calmly unsubscribed to life in his prison cell at night. This was a man who fought against his assailants and was murdered, according to my clairvoyant images. There were three people in power that knew that Epstein was going to be taken out. Make of that what you will. But I do feel that there is a future president that will reopen an investigation, because everybody believes he was murdered. You have a country who's the most who has an infamous pedophile murdered in a cell days before just before his trial started. Now we know that Trump was in the files. 1,000 times his name was redacted. We know that he's trying to cover it up. We know that Ghislaine Maxwell has been shifted to a minimum security prison. And by the way, I did see her going over the jail wall in that minimum security. It doesn't even have a wall. But that was a metaphor for day release. I feel that she is being given a lot of latitude to come and go as she will. I do believe that they will, in time, announce some kind of pardon or commutation of her sentence. Okay, you've served however many years, 5 years now, that's it, you don't have to serve anymore. It's that kind of deal done with her. In the readings I did look at was, because we had an ex-Israeli intelligence officer who came out and said that Mossad and Murdoch were blackmailing Trump in order to get gains for Israel in the Gaza, in this whole Gaza occupation. I actually feel that's correct, but let's ask again. So I'm sorry you missed the actual clairvoyance, but that was what I got visually, as a kind of a residual look at what might have happened in that cell. I am now more convinced than ever. I always felt there was interference in his death. I didn't want to go all the way and say he was murdered, but I do feel now more than ever, there's no doubt in my mind that Jeffrey Epstein was murdered. No doubt at all. He was murdered. I do, as I said, I do feel a future president is going to reopen that case. I feel most of you know that he was murdered as well. Okay, so were Mossad and Murdoch blackmailing Trump with release? Were Mossad and Murdoch blackmailing or trying to put pressure on Trump with the release of the Epstein document? Were Mossad and Murdoch putting pressure on Trump with the release of the Epstein documents? Was Mossad and Murdoch blackmailing Trump with the release of the Epstein documents? So I feel that they've stopped now, so they've got what they want. But let's see. The Ace of Pentacles, obviously, and the Chariot, yeah. Which brings me to my next question about Epstein helping Trump to evade his taxes. And there will be that money trail, I feel, because that's what Jeffrey Epstein did. All right, but I feel that that's the next story that will come out about Trump and Epstein. The Knight of Pentacles, these are all yes cards. Maybe, oh gosh, Six of Pentacles, debt. Maybe that's the information that Mossad and Murdoch were going to release next. They've stopped releasing something for the time being, but this is his debt. And Epstein was apparently helping Trump evade taxes on the debt that he to write off his taxes so that he wouldn't have to pay on the $1 billion debt the debt that he had. These would certainly be suggesting that the King of Swords, planning, strategizing, the prosecutor, legal, and we have a deal being done. I don't think I need to go any further. I think that the information that Mossad and Murdoch had obviously the close friendship, but the next iteration were Epstein helping Trump evade taxes. We'll ask that question. The Voter, and we get the King of Wands, the midterms. This is also Congress as well. Congress. I wonder if that's what's in the files. Five of Wands, partisanship, tug of war in the hopes and fears, and something coming to fruition in time. The Two of Wands and the Four of Wands. Also Mar-a-Lago. I keep getting more information about Mar-a-Lago. So yes, these are all yes cards. That's the Wheel of Fortune. Yes, they were. Yes, they were. I'm wondering if they have this tax information. Some men may have been more, I guess, astute about getting caught with underage women, and maybe the taxes is the other leverage. So, did Epstein help Trump to evade taxes? Did Epstein help Trump to evade taxes? Did Epstein help Trump evade taxes? We've got people turning off the lights. It's like, were there any fires or something in Trump's buildings? Let's have a look. Did Epstein help Trump evade taxes? And is there evidence of that? Did Epstein help Trump evade taxes, and is there evidence of it? Oh, Five of Pentacles. So this can be monetary downturn, and then we get a deal done. Okay, so writing off debt. The Empress card. Russia also may know more, but that's abundance, a season of time. The Magician is in the past. Manifestation can be manipulation. We get the Page of Pentacles, lowering his tax bills. Absolutely. There's more to this, and a deal being done. Wow. Justice is in the here and now. I wonder why justice is there. And the Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles going to Plan B. Plan B. 2 sets of books. The Devil cards in the hopes and fears. And then the outcome is the Queen of Wands. There's people who know about this. It's going to be brought up, this whole tax matter. And then we get the World card, isolation in the world, endings and beginnings, and bombshells. Yes, he did. He did help Trump. He did advise him on how to pay less tax, write off the debt. But I feel that someone knows about this. I also feel... I know Michael Cohen said, I never saw Epstein from 2007 to 2018. I don't think Cohen, well, according to my tarot psychic information, I don't think Cohen's being totally truthful, because I think Cohen helped Trump pay off women, the non-disclosure agreements. Cohen looked after all of that. But someone knows about the taxes. Is this information getting ready to be released? Is this information... Does somebody know? Four of Swords, retreat. Does somebody know about... Or is someone getting ready? Is someone getting ready to release some information about Trump, Epstein and taxes? Business ties, monetary ties. I think the Star card, yeah, hope, and the Ace of Wands, a plan. I think, again, there's a money trail. Trump probably would have paid Epstein for this advice. Absolutely. Stepping forward bravely. The Five of Wands, that's struggle, partisanship. Yeah, somebody has information that they're going to let out. And the World card, yeah. There's more to come. There's more to come on this. The Eight of Pentacles. The Eight of Pentacles. And the Two of Wands, something coming to fruition time. We are going to get the truth on this. Four of Wands. Also Mar-a-Lago features. There could have been, yeah, the Knight of Swords. We're going to get the truth on this. Trump's very... It's in those files. The information is in those files. There's a woman who's given evidence that Epstein helped Trump with his avoid taxes. That's in the files. And then we have the Lovers card. He's very... and then lies. He's very worried that there's more to come. I feel that one of these women who has a non-disclosure agreement is going to come forward. Again, there's the connection with Epstein. Is there an Epstein-connected woman who has a non-disclosure agreement, was paid money to keep quiet? Is there an Epstein victim, Epstein-Trump victim, alleged victim? This is all allegedly. Is there a woman ready to come forward? Is there a woman ready to come forward who has a Trump-Epstein connection, who has been paid forced, or not forced, but paid to be quiet, signed a non-disclosure agreement? Is there someone, a woman getting ready to come forward? Yes. I don't think the plan to get rid of Trump is finished at all. Seven of Cups. The plan's not fully formed yet. It's only half formed. And then we get that Hermit card again, isolation, but September being a key month. Three of Wands, overseas interests. We have the King of Pentacles in the sky. Again, someone who's made as many enemies as Trump, who has such a dark past as he, and that's unquestionable. People have a lot of compromat here that they could release. So plan A doesn't work. Plan B. This woman could also, I don't know. 10 of Swords, the end of something, and a deal being done, the end of the deal. The Moon card, in the hopes and fears, and then finally we have the King of Swords. That's usually legal representation, and the Page of Wands, speaking out, and yep. Oh yes, cards. With the King of Pentacles hovering over the reading. King of Pentacles is the businessman. Yes, there is somebody who's currently formulating a plan, perhaps with legal representation. She hasn't come forward yet. She was paid to shut up, if I can just put it like that. And she's going to come out. I think she's getting ready to come out. Ace of Pentacles and the Five of Swords, sabotage, abuse of power. And she'll detail how Trump paid her off. Okay, so that is on the wind as well. Yeah, now I do want to speak about Cuomo. Ex-Governor Andrew Cuomo is currently liaising with Trump right now to get elected as an independent in New York. I feel that Cuomo's campaign money is coming from Trump donors. Let's have a look at that. Is Andrew Cuomo. Now, Cuomo was governor during those long years in New York, Trump's town, before Trump stood for president. So, Cuomo, did you turn a blind eye to anything Trump did? Cuomo, did you turn a blind eye to anything Trump did? Everything is intrigue, not intrigue, but turn a blind eye. The Seven of Cups, illusion, delusion, and the Queen of Swords. Let's not forget Cuomo had to stand down because of allegations of sexual misconduct. The Strength card, we have something coming to fruition in time. Be patient. And then the Four of Wands, reunion. And the Moon card, things coming up from under the surface. He was governor when Epstein supposedly died in prison as well. Page of Swords, a truth emerging about who? About the King of Pentacles. The King of Swords is in the hopes and fears. And the Seven of Pentacles. If first one plan doesn't succeed, we go to plan B. The Knight of Wands and the Ten of Wands. I feel Cuomo may have this state taxes and the Eight of Wands. If you're thinking about voting for Cuomo, there are question marks over his connections with Trump. What did Cuomo turn a blind eye? I think it's tax evasion on the state taxes. People enabled Trump before he became president, and you'd have to look to the people in power who did that. Okay, so are Trump's donors going to be supporting Cuomo? Where's the media digging up any of this information? Are Trump's donors going to be supporting Cuomo? Trump's donors supporting, or donors connected with Trump going to be supporting Cuomo? The High Priestess, secrets. Are they known yet? And there's the money. Trying to keep something secret, but there's the money. So anybody who's able to try to look at Cuomo's campaign money, you will find a connection with Trump. The Queen of Cups is the foundation of the reading. The Hanged Man is in the past, pausing, suspending something. And there we get the Lover's card, Trump. Relationships, hope. Relationship with Trump has given Cuomo hope. The Ace of Cups and the Queen of Wands, campaigning. Justice is in the hopes and fears. Again, another person making a comeback who's got a grim past. And then we get betrayal. Betrayal, the Hierophant, the government, and the Emperor. The Emperor. Control and Nine of Wands, boundaries and partisanship. It looks like there's some kind of betrayal here. I wonder if he will be betrayed, but he's definitely got the support of the Trump and there's also the courts here. What's underneath here? The Empress card, abundance, decision time, and then we get the Page of Pentacles. So there's a monetary situation here. I think there is a donor or some donors that may be connected with the Republican Party who will be chipping in to Cuomo's campaign on the advice of Trump, and I feel here that this is a betrayal of the Democratic Party, and Cuomo's all up for it. If you vote for him, you're not voting for a Democrat. You're voting for someone who was governor during the worst crimes, tax fraud, committed by Trump. He was convicted of that. And you're voting for someone who potentially, I don't know, turned a blind eye. James, I think when that investigation started, was Cuomo still the governor, or was Kathy Hochul? That would be interesting to look at the timing of that investigation and whether or not Cuomo had been covering up for Trump. Anyway, be mindful. Now to Trump and Putin's meeting. Now, this is what I feel about that. I feel that, well, just to give you some background, Witkoff went to Russia again for the second time, came back with some sort of story about if Ukraine gives up Donbass and Luhansk, the Donetsk and Luhansk regions, the Donbass region, then Ukraine would get to keep Kherson and Zaporizhia. That's the story that I think they called it a land swap. And Russians would retreat from Kherson and Zaporizhia in return for Ukraine retreating from Donetsk and Luhansk. Now, and also giving up its claim to Crimea. There was a spanner thrown in the works when Zelensky says, no, we're not giving up any territory. And then Putin came out and said, well, no, we're not going to give up Zaporizhia and Kherson. We want all of that in return for the end of this invasion. I think what's going to happen is that they will announce some kind of beginnings of a framework of a deal to take to Zelensky. However, it's all going to fall apart yet again. Because the same conditions that have been there from the start, Trump negotiating on behalf of Putin, selling out Ukraine, not getting any security guarantees, they're all going to be there. And I think this meeting with Putin is to look at ways for Russia and the US to be closer, perhaps even to do some trade. So let's have a look. What is the purpose of this meeting? What is the purpose of this meeting in Alaska? Putin's a war criminal and he's going to be in an American state. Both Netanyahu and Putin seem to get freedom to walk anywhere they want to on American soil. Okay, so both wanted by the International Criminal Court. Or the International Court of Justice. Okay, so let's have a look at why is Putin meeting Trump? Why is Trump and Putin meeting? What's the real reason? The Hanged Man to pause, ceasefire, and then loss, walking away. We have the Hierophant, the government, the courts, and the Five of Wands is in the past. We have an announcement or wanting to make an announcement, a surprise announcement. There we have the King of Pentacles front and centre, which is Trump. We have the Four of Wands. It is just like a reunion of old buddies, old comrades. Debt, loans and debt. Reunions because of why? Because I want to give you some help. Putin wants America's money. The Sun card in the hopes and fears. And finally we get having to make a decision. Balls in the air can be manipulation. Magician can also be manipulation. And the Page of Wands. So they'll announce, there'll be some feel-good announcements. We're starting anew. Can be the end of something. There could be an announcement about, as I said, the end of the war, but it doesn't go according to plan. The Knight of Swords, the Truth, the Chariot, and money. This meeting's about money. It's about American money. That's what this meeting's about. Not about the war. It's about freeing the sanctions on the banks, trying to restore the Russian economy. That is what this meeting is about. Will they announce a peace deal? Well, they can't because Zelensky needs to be involved. Will they announce the framework for... Well, will they announce a deal Zelensky must accept? That's more likely. Will they announce a deal Zelensky must accept? Will they announce a deal Zelensky must accept? The Chariot, yep, they're going to announce something. And the Nine of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles, Putin will get what he wants. There's an American commitment to lift those sanctions, invest in Russia. We get the Hermit card, isolate Zelensky. Queen of Cups is in the past, and the Moon card, volatility, things coming up from the surface. And then we have the King of Pentacles in the front and centre. This was always going to happen. Reunion of old comrades again, and hope in the environment around. The Ace of Cups in the hopes and fears. And then we get the Eight of Swords. Zelensky's not going to accept that. The Queen of Swords, objectivity, a plan, the Strength card. And then we get the Lovers card and the Page of Pentacles. Okay, so, no, Trump, the Emperor, secrets being kept, and the Hanged Man. So, Putin might agree to some sort of ceasefire while they nut out the details, but that's not the real reason for this meeting. Putin wants American money, American investment, American sanctions removed. Putin wants money. Putin wants money. But they will maybe announce a ceasefire. That could be what comes out of it while they work out the negotiations. Ultimately, I feel that Zelensky will have to give up territory, unfortunately. Anyway, that's the reading as I have it. Unfortunately, I did lose the original reading. However, the clairvoyant images that I have are still in my third eye, and I think there's no doubt that Epstein was murdered. And I do feel a future president will actually announce an investigation into his death. Okay, will the Epstein files be released ultimately? Yes. There will be a certain amount of information released and a certain amount kept back by, it doesn't matter who's presidents, that they will keep them back because the government will be complicit. But there will be enough information released, I think, from those files. I don't think it's a list per se as names in files. Okay, that's what I have for you. Thank you for tuning in, and bye for now.